Okay, so the reason we are meeting up with Dan on Tuesday is we're going to talk about what happens when you have someone living in a house that isn't technically a tenant, that is not technically a squatter, and thinks they own the house. So yeah, that's a situation I found myself in a little bit. I bought a property back in September. The seller had owned it for 50 years, and uh, he had developed dementia, and the family wanted to sell the property, pay for care, and using power of attorney, they reached out to some investors, and I ended up purchasing it from them. Now, there was someone living in the home that had been there for 30 years. It was the girlfriend of the guy that developed dementia and went into the home. And it's kind of sad. And he, several months later, probably 4 or 5 months after I bought it, he ended up dying actually. But the person is still in the house. And, I served them with notice of intent to sell, with trying to do the right thing and give her plenty of time to get out of there. It was 90-day notice plus the few days lead time. Then getting the person wanted to dodge servicers, so that took extra time, and then it just a whole bunch of stuff. And then when it comes down to the eviction, well, they determined it was not a typical eviction with like a tenant or that type of thing, and so they ended up kicking that out as a eviction with landlord-tenant law and that sort of thing, saying basically that doesn't apply. And so what happens with that now is we're looking at an ejectment action, which a couple of things, if it goes through this way, that's good, is they don't get a free lawyer like they do with landlord-tenant stuff in Washington. So the person actually has to show up themselves or pay for representation or get a default judgment against them. The other thing with that is the difficult part is they're once again avoiding getting served. So it's hard to go through the process of getting court dates and that kind of thing if you can't serve somebody. So that's just some of the stuff that I'm dealing with on the property. I have some other evictions that I'm getting started on too. But this one's really interesting. And, Dan is going to kind of break down the differences, what makes something where it falls under the ejectment law, which should only be 20 days notice, versus the normal eviction and that kind of thing, and what makes someone qualify for one or the other. And are there ways that you can go the ejectment route and save yourself a lot of time and, hopefully money, energy. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Tuesday.